It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty hood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Could you please? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor. So glad to have you in my neighborhood. Oh, Mr. Rogers brings back some fond memories. Hopefully, all you know that reference. Some of you might not. I'm dating myself. But I grew up on Mr. Rogers, and he always taught us something important every episode in most childhood memories. And today, I hope to do the same for you. But first, I want to celebrate Toastmasters. Do you realize we've been doing this for 6 months now? Meeting virtual. We didn't think it was possible. We pulled it off, and to all of us, we deserve a big round of applause for that. It speaks to our tenacity as Toastmasters, and we couldn't pull this off with each and every one of you participating. But we are Toastmasters, like I said, and what do Toastmasters do? Well, they evaluate what they're doing, figure out what they're doing well, and figure out what they can do better. And it's been coming up in our general summations for the past few weeks of things we can do better. And I want to just focus on 2 of those today. But first, why? Why do we want to get better? Well, I already said one of them. We're Toastmasters. It's what we do. It's at our core. We strive to get better in speaking, strive to be better leaders, strive to be better listeners. And yes, using this tool, striving to use it better, will help us out. It's our pledge. Remember our pledge? I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. Wait, wrong pledge. No, the pledge is, I pledge to prepare and fulfill my meeting assignments to the best of my abilities. Well, preparing to use this tool is one of those Toastmasters, so it's in our pledge. Another reason, we only get one chance to make a great impression on our guest. You don't get a second chance. So the better we execute our meetings, the more likely they are to want to be a part of our club. Third, if we're going to be doing, we've done this for 6 months, we're going to be doing it for the foreseeable future. Toastmasters is already committed to doing this format, virtual format for contest season, which is all the way out in January. Regardless of what your region, state, country is doing, contest season is going to be in a virtual format. So if you're going to succeed as a contestant, you will need to be able to excel as a participant using a virtual media. So now we know why, but what? Just two things I want you to walk away with. 2 areas I think if we improve on them, they'll drastically improve our meetings. 1 is agenda flow, and 2 is self-muting, not self-mutilating, self-muting. So let's start with the first. Let's take a look at an agenda. And as a little tidbit, I always have a highlighter and my agenda, and I tick as I'm going down the road. But let's take a look at it up close. I'm going to share an agenda here. Notice, Don has done a great job, our VP of Education. If you have a segment, you start in all caps, and you continue until you hit the next all caps. So today, we even saw it with Sam. Always have your highlighter, and I do this myself. I tick them whether I'm at Denny's or I'm here in my desk, and I'll go down the list, and I go down. Okay, Grammarian, Jay Campbell, tick it off. Timer, Kathy Smith, tick it off. And occasionally, I might miss it. It's okay to loop back. As long as you loop back before you hand control of the meeting over to Table Topics Master. Now, table topics is one of the areas we tend to fallen off the wheels. And I think that's just because we have some new members and they don't get the entire responsibility. So yes, you ask pertinent questions and get those answers back. But once the timer says you're done asking questions, don't stop there. Remember, you go all the way right here to where the caps end, to the Toastmaster. So you've got to call on those table topic participants. You need to have the grammarians report, the timers report, and you call to vote for best table topics. Then you turn control of the meeting over back to your Toastmaster, where we've been doing a relatively good job. Then we come to the general evaluator, and this is another area where we tend to fall off the rails a little bit. We do good about introducing our evaluators for each speech, but don't forget general evaluators. When you're done, you still have to go all the way down to the capitals here. So you need to get that timers report, get the vote for best evaluator, get the grammarians report, the odd counters report, but most importantly, the general summation. That's one of the best areas to go to. You get to wrap the whole meeting up in a bow. You don't evaluate a speech, you evaluate the whole meeting. What we did good, what we did well, what we can do better. And that's where this speech is coming from. Some of those great general summations. And if you haven't picked up on it yet, if you're new and wondering how you do those general summations, listen to some of what I call the old pros, the Kathy Smiths, the Don Griffiths, the PJ Glosses. It shows how attentive they are throughout the meeting and pick up every little detail and put a pretty little bow on it to wrap it all up and highlight and articulate everything we did well and everything we could do better. And so that's all I really have there for the meeting flow. Just follow the agenda, tick it off with the highlighter, and it's pretty easy. If we do that, the meeting will seem to go in a more logical order, and it'll appear to just anyone that's coming in from the outside to be very organized. Now, the next thing, and probably most important, is muting. One of the most distracting things that can happen during a meeting is if some side noise comes in. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and we're going to learn how to mute and then have a actual view how to do this. Now, for my call-in users, I know this has been difficult. You haven't been able to see this, but you can mute just by pulling away the phone. You'll see a little mute button on there. You can tap it, it'll go solid, you're muted. To come off mute, reverse the process. For those of you in WebEx meetings like I am, you'll see there's this little microphone, and this is also true of the mobile app. Find that microphone if you want to mute. You click it, you go on permanent mute. You click it again, you come off. You can see here in your participant list, if there's a red microphone near your name, you're muted, you're good, you're not disrupting the meeting. If you're white next to your namespace, you could be muting or feeding audio in, and when it turns green, you're actually presenting. So let's practice this. I'm gonna unmute every one of you, and please go on mute. Here we go. I'm gonna unmute everybody. All right, and I'm seeing everyone go back on mute. Perfect, you now know how to mute. And Toastmasters, I have been holding you back. I admit it, it's my fault. I have been muting for you, and I'm no longer gonna do that going forward. I will only mute during formal speeches. Other than that, I'm gonna call you out and ask you to go on mute so that you learn and it'll become second nature. I believe by me muting for you, I've held you back. With that said, that's it, Toastmasters. Welcome to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I put that video out there in front to show you can have fun in this format. We can do it in an organized way. We can still come together. We're gonna be doing it for a little while longer. I wanna thank you for everything you've done in making this such a huge success for the past 6 months. We're probably gonna be doing it for the foreseeable future. If you ever have any questions on how to use this tool, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Call to action going forward. If you get the meeting controls, follow the agenda. And when you're not speaking, put yourself on mute. Thank you.